Hello, dear friends. Welcome back to Preparation Katta. So, I am Rahul Sir, and today we are talking about the simple interest. So, our today's topic is simple interest. Okay. Now, see, you all know the traditional formula, right? So, what is the traditional formula for simple interest? It is P R T by 100, right? You might know this formula, but there are so many things around it, and I'll tell you how we can do it without using formula as well. Now, first of all, those who are very new to this terminologies, first let's try to understand what does P means, what does R means, what does T means, what does SI means. Okay, so let us take an example here. Okay, so let's say I'm giving 100 rupees to someone. Okay, and that rupees I'm giving him or her for 1 year. Okay, and after 1 year I'm telling him or her, give me my 100 rupees back, but you have to pay me 10 rupees extra. Okay, so now how much I am demanding? 10 rupees extra. Okay, so this is what, this is my principal amount, so we call it as principal amount, right? So this is the amount given to a particular person on some interest, right? And this 10 what I am extra demanding, okay, this 10 rupees what I am extra demanding is what, is your SI. We call it as simple interest. Okay, this is in rupees, so we are calling it as simple interest. So you are understanding. So I have given 100 rupees to somebody. Okay, and after 1 year he or she has to give me back 100 plus extra 10 rupees. That extra 10 rupees is called as simple interest. The original amount which was given is called as principal. So at the end of the year, how much amount that person is giving me back? It is 110. So this we call it as, okay, total amount. Okay, we call it as total amount, or we can simply call it as amount, right? Now here, this 1 year, 1 year is what, time period, right, for which the money was given. So this is time period, and this is nothing but T. So principal we call it as P, then time period we call it as T, simple interest we call it as SI. Now only remaining thing is R. R is what? Rate of interest. Now how many extra rupees I'm going to get back? It is 10 rupees. How much rupees I have given? Earlier it was 100 rupees, right? And this R is always in percentage, so I have to multiply it by 100 to make it in percentage. So now what will happen? So this will get cancelled, and this is nothing but what, 10 percentage. So this 10 percentage is nothing but rate of interest, and we call it as R, and this is always in percentage. So this thing you have to always remember. Okay, so now you clear? So SI is simple interest. Simple interest is what? The amount of money I am getting back on over the principal amount. Okay, over the principal amount. My principal amount is 100, and over that I am getting 10 rupees. So that is my simple interest. Then what is R? R is, okay, R is ROI, right? Now rate of interest, and that rate of interest is how much? Because earlier I have given 100, okay, I'm getting back 110. So the overall increase in the amount is by 10 rupees if I calculate, because percentage topic we already have seen, so it is very easy to understand. So 10% extra, right? And that is nothing but rate of interest. And for how much time? So that is T. So let us consider an example. Okay. So here we will write PRT. So let's say the principal amount is 1000 rupees, which is given to a particular person. So rate of interest charged, it's let's say 5% for the year of 4 years. Okay. And in the exam, it is asked to calculate what is the simple interest. Okay. So now in traditional method, what you will do? Simple interest is equals to PRT divided by 100, right? And then you will put P, which is 1000, R, which should be in percentage, it is in percentage 5, and T, it is 4 divided by 100. Okay. And how much is the answer? So these two zeros got cancelled. 2200, right? So it is 200. So simple interest is 200. This simple interest is nothing but what? As I've said, on principal amount, I'm getting this 200 extra back from that particular person. So that I am calling it as simple interest. So this is the traditional method to calculate. Now I will tell you how we can solve it in the examination in a quicker way. Now, how to solve in a quicker way? So here, always remember, this simple interest is always calculated on principal. Okay, we with the time we will see what is compound interest and etc. Okay, so in simple interest, the interest is always calculated on the principal every year. Okay, this you have to always keep in mind. Now tell me, okay, here the principal is how much? 1000, right? The principal is 1000 rupees. So let's say this is first year, second year, third year, and fourth year, because the time period is 4 year. The rate of interest per annum or per year is how much? It is 5%, right? So 5% of 1000 is how much? We have already seen the percentage topic, right? So for those who don't know how to calculate, so it is 1000 into 5 by 100. So just to for those who haven't attended this topic, so it will become 50, right? So for first year 50. Okay. Now tell me, for second year it is always it is also 5%, third year 5%, fourth year 5%, and it is always calculated on what? Principal amount. So for all the years it will be 50, 50, 50, 50. Now let's do the summation. What is the summation? 200. And this is nothing but what? This is your simple interest. Now tell me, which one is easy? Here, have we used any formula? No. But we directly got the answer, right? With the usage of formula, we also calculated and the answer is 200. Now to further simplify this, or to like further make your calculations faster, what you can do is, instead of calculating it for every year, so this 5 percentage, it's fixed, right, per year. For how many years it is? For 4 years. So 5 into 4 is 20%. So now you can directly calculate the 20% on principal amount. So what is principal amount? It is 1000. Okay, so 1000 che 20%, right? So here I have to write like 20 divided by 100, right? So this is how you are calculating. Now tell me, so 20 into 10, it is 200. So either this or this or this, the answer is going to be same. Here you have used the formula, and in these two cases, whatever I have explained, you haven't used any formula. But it is very easy to calculate, and there is no need to remember any kind of formula. So this is what the simple interest is. In exam, we will have the different ways of problems. Okay, different types of problems. So let's see the real examination problems. We are going to cover about 15 years of PYQ. Okay, 15 years of PYQ. Now, before moving to the next like problems, here is the motivational quote for you. So always remember that success is not a one-time principal investment. Okay, success is not a one-time principal investment. It is the simple interest of your daily habits, small, consistent efforts added together create a massive final amount. Okay, and that's why what you have to do is you have to keep going. Okay, so let's start with this motivation for the further lecture. So here, this problem is from MPSC combined examination. Now here what it is asking, find the simple interest we have to calculate on 8,000. And what is the rate of interest? It is 7% per annum for 2 years. Okay. Now here some of the people might be, simply use, right? Those who don't know the shortcut methods, SI is equals to PRT divided by 100. And we are going to use this formula for this problem, and also we will see the shortcut method as well, because using this formula will tell you like how to use this formula. Okay, so simple interest we have to calculate. So what is the principal amount? It is like find the SI on 8,000 rupees. So principal amount is 8,000. Then R is a rate of interest, ROI we have seen, right? A rate of interest is how much? 7%. Okay. Then for how many number of years? For 2 years. So T is 2 divided by 100. And hence your final answer will be what? So it is 56, 56 into 2. It is 102 and this 10. Okay. So this is 1020. So this is what? Simple interest. 1020. Now here which option is the correct option? So we have 1120. Okay. Did we make a calculation mistake? Just check. So it is 56. 56 into 2. It is not 10. It is 11. No. 112. So it is 1120. And hence option number A is correct. So this is we did with respect to this formula. Now, what is our method, right? What is Preparation Katta's method? What is Rahul Sir's method? So now I'll just erase it here so that we can remark it again. So here, what I said, ki simple interest is always calculated on principal amount. So here the principal amount is 8,000. Okay. So 7% per annum. So for how many years it is given? For 2 years. So this is first year, this is second year, right? Here 7%, here 7%. So here how much? So 8,000, like 7% of 8,000 rupees. It is 556, 560, right? And again, so it is on principal amount, so it will not change. So just sum these things. So you will get the similar answer 1120, right? So this is first method. Have we used any formula? No. Have we did any like a kind of multiplication or something? No, it is simply addition. Now the second thing what I told you is, now this is 7% for 2 years. So it is like 7% into 2, 14%. So here you have to directly calculate it with respect to this. So now 14% of 8,000 is what? So like 14 8s are, it is 112, right? So 1120. So directly answer we got. So this is how we have to do the problems in the examination in quicker way. Okay, now here is the next problem. So let's try to see how we can solve this. The sum of 12,000 is lent for 6 months at 10% per annum. Find the interest. Very interesting problem, right? Now here again, so here how much is the sum? 12,000. That means this is my principal amount, which is lent for how many years? It is meant for like 6 months. So 6 months is nothing but what? 0.5 years. We have to convert it into years always. Now at how much interest? 10% per annum. And we have to find out the interest, right? The simple interest. Now what I have said, what is simple interest? It is an extra amount, okay, which is collected on and above the principal. So here, it is 10% per annum. That means for half year, it is 5%. So 5% of 12,000 is how much? So 5% means 5 divided by 100 into 12,000, right? So these two zeros got cancelled, these two zeros get cancelled. So 12 5 is a 60 and this 10 600. Okay. So what is the answer? 600. Easy? Okay. The problems are very easy. You just need to remember the concept. So here again, any formula we used? No formula, right? Let's move to the next example. So this example is from UPSC CSAT 2022. So what the problem statement says, at what rate percentage per annum, that means we have to calculate R, will a sum of money double itself in 10 years? Will a sum of money double itself in 10 years? And the options are given. See, here nothing principal is given, nothing is given. These are also very easy problem. Now, how to solve this problem without formula? So let's say the principal amount was 1 rupees and the sum of money got doubled itself in 10 years, right? So sum of money got doubled itself. That means 1 becomes 2 in how many years? 10 years. And what we have to find out? The rate of interest. Now tell me, what is simple interest here? What is simple interest here? What I said, simple interest is an extra amount we will get back on the principal. So this was the principal, okay, and this is the total amount. This is what total amount. If you remember, the total amount is nothing but what? Sum of principal and the extra interest. So that means the difference between these two is how much? Extra amount. How much I am getting? It is 1, right? Extra amount I am getting 1, and that too for what? 10 years. In 10 years, okay, I will get simple interest of rupees 1, right? Now, for this is for 10 years, but the rate we have to calculate for per year, right? Rate we have to calculate it for per year. So now if 1 for 10 years, then for 1 year how much? So for 1 year it will be 1 by 10. It's a simple mathematics. So it will be 1 by 10. Now tell me, how much was the principal? It is 1, right? And what amount I am getting back in 1 year? It is 1 by 10th, that is equals to 0.1. Simple. Now what is the rate of interest? So rate of interest is nothing but what? How much amount I am getting? It is 0.1. How much is the principal? So on principal I am getting 0.1, and that percentage I have to calculate. That means multiply it by 100, and that becomes what? 10%. And that is what asked. So the problem statement is very clear and the answer explanation is also very clear. So these are very simple problems. And here as well, we haven't used the formula PRT divided by 100 in log. Okay. So just you have to understand the concept. Now let's move to the next problem. Now this problem is from MPSC Rajyaseva. And what it is saying, in how many years will the 5,000 amount to 8,000 at a 12% annum simple interest? Okay. So in how many years we have to calculate? Now here, the number of years we have to calculate. It's very easy. So now the amount is 5,000, which is principal. Now, if, so I'll give you the trick. If in problem, let's say it is written amount to, so that is nothing but your total amount. And this amount is nothing but what? Your principal plus simple interest. So that you have to remember. So now this 5,000 is becoming, okay, now here maybe amount to or becomes to, this will also come, becomes to, so that is nothing but what, amount only. So now that is becoming 8,000 at 12% per annum. Okay, now tell me, so this is amount, and we know the amount is principal plus simple interest. Principal we know, amount we know. Now tell me what is simple interest, the difference between these two, right? So what is the difference? It is 3,000. So 3,000 is nothing but simple interest, and this simple interest is for 12% per annum. Okay, now wait. Okay, so now what does that mean? Ki to become amount from 5,000 to 8,000, we are getting the simple interest of 3,000. So now we have simple interest. Just now in the previous problem, what we did, so if we have to calculate the percentage per annum, right, which is already given 12 percentage. Now on 5,000, if I add the 12 percentage per annum, how much this amount will become? Okay, so if I cancel out these two zeros, so it will become 60 and this 10, 600 rupees, right? So this is in 1 year. This is in 1 year. Now how many year it will take to become that amount 3,000? That is what asked, right? That is what the answer is. So in 1 year, let's say it is 600 rupees. In how many years it will become 3,000? Let's do the cross multiplication. Okay, so let's consider this as x. So 3,000. So x is equals to 3,000 divided by 600. So this zero get cancelled, and 6 5s are 30. So it will take 5 years. So what is the answer? It is option number C. C. Have you used again any formula? No. Simple with the percentages formula, what we have learned already. If you haven't, just go to the channel and search for percentage, or even on YouTube you can simply search percentage by Rahul Sir. You will get the video. Okay, so till now everything is clear. In the problem, what they are just twisting the statements, rest everything is remaining same. Now we are at problem number 5, which is asked in SSC CPO. Okay, a sum of money trebles. Okay, here I think spelling mistake, so it is triples 3 times itself in 12 years. Find the rate of interest. Again, as I said, it is just a twisting of statements. Let's say sum of money, again, let's say the principal was 1 and it becomes 3 times. That means it become 3 in how many years? 12 years. So what is simple interest? So this difference between these two. So what is difference between these two? It is 2, and this 2 is over 12 years, right? That means rate of interest is how much? It is how much? It is per year we have to calculate, right? So simple interest 2 divided by 12. So it is 1 by 6. And it is in percentage. Is it in percentage? No. To now make it in percentage, what we have to do? We have to multiply it by 100, right? Now just calculate. So you know now it is coming in fractions, right? It will be like 50 divided by 3. And 50 divided by 3, there is no option in the fraction, only first option. And that's why option number A is correct, right? And even let's do like 50 divided by 3. So 3, okay, here I will do 3 ones are 3. Okay, 3 6 are 18. Again 2. Here I will write dot 20. 3 6 are 18. Again blah blah. So 16.66 is the correct option. So you understood again this problem? What we are doing? We are just doing these things. You just need to understand the concept. So these are going to repeat. and we are going to see the 15 like different problems asked in different examinations. So you will get all the information here in this video itself. Okay, so let's start with the problem number 6. So recording stopped in between, no problem, we'll continue. So this problem was asked in Maharashtra Forest exam. A sum of money doubles in 5 years. So let's say there was 1 rupees. Now that is becoming 2 rupees. It is doubling, right? In how many years? 5 years. What is asked, in how many years will it become 5 times? So that means this 1 should become like 5 times, right? 5. In how many years? That we have to find out. Again, we are not going to use any kind of formula. So now tell me, now 1 is becoming 2. Now here, what is the simple interest? The difference between these two. So 2 minus 1. So this is 1, right? So 1, I am getting simple interest of 1 for 5 years. And now tell me, to become 1 to 5, how much is the simple interest from 1 to 5? It is 5 minus 1, which is 4, right? So in 5 years, I am getting the, let's say this is SI. So SI of 1. So in how many years I should get the SI of 4? So let's do the cross multiplication. So x is equals to 5 fours are 20. And hence, in 20 years, that principal amount of 1 will become 5. That means it will becomes 5 times. So 20 is the answer. So option number C is correct. So this problem is from UPSC CSAT. So let's try to solve this problem. I love the UPSC problem because the way they ask, it's too different. Okay, so if the rate of interest is increases by 2%, okay, the SI on the simple interest on the sum is increased by 240 in 3 years. Now here tell me the rate of interest is increased by 2% and hence the simple interest is increased by 240 in 3 years. So this is what SI. So now tell me, so this is for 3 years. Now tell me, we will go reverse. So for 1 year, how much simple interest will accumulate? So like 240 divided by 3, right? So it will become 80. 240 divided by 3 is 80, right? And it is how much percentage? It is already given, right? It is 2%. Now tell me, what is 1%? 1% is what? 2 ka half, like 1. So 80 is half is 40. So 1% is equals to 40. Now tell me, 100% is nothing but what? My principal, right? And hence just add 2 zeros over it. So it will become 4000. So option number B is correct. C. Have we used any formula? No. It seems difficult, but it is not. The only way to solve such problems is presence of mind in the examination. Let's move to the next example. Now let us see the similar type of problem what the UPSC have asked. Okay, so it is same, exactly same. You can pause the video and try to solve the problem. So the sum was put at SI at a certain rate for 2 years. Okay, had it been put 3% higher rate, it would have been fetched rupees 300 more. The sum is. So here the problem is exactly similar to the previous problem. So what they are saying, instead of, let's say, some rate of interest, if we would have put 3% higher rate, we would have fetched rupees 300 more. So what is this more? More on principal amount. What we are calling it as simple interest. So here again, I will make 3 columns. Here percentage, here simple interest, and for how many number of years? It's like similar compared to last, right? So here the 3% higher rate is contributing to extra 300 rupees, which is, I will call it as simple interest. And for how many number of years? For 2 number of years. Now for 1 year, so we went in this direction. So now 1 year it is half, like 150, right? The rate of interest is 3%. Now 1%, it is one third, right? So divided by 3. So 3 5 is a 150. So it is 50. So 1% is 50 rupees. That means 100% is what? Add two zeros, 5,000. So this is what? The principal amount. And what is the option? Option number A. Sounds easy? Great. Let's see this problem. This is very interesting problem. So this problem is from SSC CGL Tier 2 examination. Now what is asked? First try to understand. What they are saying, the 4,000 rupees is divided into two parts. Okay. That means this 4,000 amount is divided into two parts and we don't know the exact amount. Fine, no problem. One part is lent at 8%. Okay, this part is lent at 8%. And another part is lent at 10%. Okay. If the total yearly interest is 352. Okay, so total yearly interest is 352. So this is nothing but what? This is extra, which is 352. Find the sum lent at 8%. That means we have to find out this value. Okay. Now, how to find out? This is very interesting. So, what comes into your mind at first when you see 4,000 is divided into 2? So, generally, what we do? Let's consider he or she might have like equally divided, and 8% is lent. 2,000 rupees are lent for 8%, and again 2,000 rupees lent for 10%. Now tell me, what is the 8% of 2,000? It is 160. And what is 10% of 2,000? It is 200. Now tell me, what is the simple interest summation of this, which is 360. Now tell me, are we getting this 360 rupees? No. How much interest we are getting? 352. Now here, just interesting observation. So now, if I equally divide it into two parts, I am getting more interest as what is given in the problem, right? That means this person who has divided this amount, so this amount which is given at 8% must be more than 2,000 rupees, right? And that's why he is getting less, because here the interest is more, right? In the second case. And here the final simple interest we are getting less. That means this amount must be more than 2,000 rupees, which is lent at 8%. Now in option, like, which amount is more than 2,000 rupees? So we will cancel out the amounts which are less than 2,000 rupees. So 1,600 got cancelled. C obviously get cancelled, and 1,800 D option is also got cancelled. And hence option number A is correct. C. Very simple problem. With this method also we can solve such problems. In the examination, don't follow like a particular problem or theory, nothing. So with the presence of mind, whatever you can do, just do it. Here what we did, again I am explaining, the simple interest what we got is 352. When I have divided this 4,000 rupees into 2,000, my simple interest is coming 360 rupees. But as per problem, it is 352. That means the larger amount I have given at lesser interest rate, right? Which is 8%. That means more than 2,000 rupees I have given. And hence option number A. So this is problem number 10, and this is very interesting problem. So this problem was asked in UPSC CSAT examination. A man invests one third of his capital at 7%. Okay. One fourth of his capital at 8%. Fine. And rest of the capital at 10%. Now, if his annual income is 561, then we have to find out the capital. This is very, I'll say simple problem, but I'll say it looks like a lengthy problem. Now here, I mean, there might be different ways, but the method which which comes into my mind right away is, let's consider the capital of that man is X. Okay. Now, one third capital is invested at 7%. One fourth of the capital at 8%. And the rest of the capital, that means 1 minus 1 by 3 minus 1 by 4 into X. Now you understood why I took this? The remaining capital, right? So 1 is the total capital, 1 by third already invested, 1 by fourth already invested. So what is remaining? So that I have framed in this way, is invested at 10%. Now what it is saying is annual investment is 561 rupees. So let's say this 7% of the total, total annual income, 8 percentage and 10 percentage, that summation is coming as 561. So how can I write this problem? Now what the problem statement is saying, if one third of his total capital is given at 7%, can I write 7 by 100? So this amount plus 1 by 4 into X into 8%, that means 8 by 100, plus now this 1 minus 1 by 3 divided by 1 by 4. So we will take the LCM as 12. Okay, so here it will become 12, 4 and 3, right? Into X, which is given at 10 percentage, into 10 divided by 100. And now that annual income is how much? 561. So we just have to solve this equation, and this X is what we have considered is total capital. So this X value is nothing but the answer of this question. Now you have to comment what is the answer of this problem. Okay, let's do that. So let's look at the problem number 11. So this problem was asked in MPSC Rajyaseva 2018. So only one rule you have to remember. You have to always remember that whatever the in simple interest, whatever the interest is coming, that is coming on the principal amount. Okay, that is a basic fundamental thing of the simple interest. Now in this problem, let's try to understand what is asked in the problem. The rate of interest is 6% for first 2 years. Fine. 9% for next 3 years, and 14% for the period beyond 5 years. If a man gets 11,400 as a simple interest after 9 years, what is the principal? See, after reading, you might seem it as a difficult problem, but it is not. So let us assume the principal amount is, let's say, 100. For first 2 years, how much is the rate of interest? It is 6%. That means total is how much? 12%. That means simple interest of 12 he will gain for first 2 years, right? For first 2 years. Then for next 3 years, okay, again we are calculating on the base amount, that is principal amount. So it is given at 14%. 9% for next 3 years. That means total is how much? 27%. So how much simple interest he can earn or she can earn, or that particular person, is 27 rupees. Again, for the remaining period, okay, so we have already crossed like 5 years, right? And beyond 5 years till 9 years, that means for next 4 years, the interest is at 14% for 4 years, right? That means 14 4s are 56. So 56 is a simple interest. Okay, so now on the principal amount of 100 rupees, how much SI that person earned? It is 12 plus 27 plus 56. So calculate how much it is. 6 plus 2, 8, and 8, 7, 15, right? So 5 plus 1, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 95. So for 100 principal, simple interest earned is 95 rupees, okay, then for how much amount that person can earn this much of simple interest? That is 11,400. Okay, so here the calculation is very, very simple. Here you might see it is 95 percentage. So what is that amount? If you do the 95 percentage, will become 11400. So it is simply 12,000. It is simple calculation, right? 11,000 is not possible, 15,000 is not possible, 10,000 is not possible. So simply 12,000 is option. But for those who cannot, do this shortcut way, it's okay. Do the cross multiplication. So 95 into x will be equals to 11400 into 100 divided by 95. If I translate that here, okay. So that means x is equals to, so just, okay, so 5, 1, 5, 9, 19, 20, and 19, 6 are 114. So see, 600 into 20, that is nothing but what? 12,000. And hence option number B is correct. Okay, so this is problem number 12, which was asked in SSC CGL. So let's try to solve this problem. The problem says, what annual installment, okay, will discharge a debt of 6,450 due in 4 years at 5% of simple interest? Okay, cool. So here what the problem is saying, so we have to make 4 installments, right? So first installment, second installment, third installment, and fourth installment. And we have to pay the debt of 6,450 rupees. Now you understand the debt system, you will know. Now, let's say to solve this logically, so let us assume the annual installment is 100. Okay. Okay, marking it as the annual installment, it is 100. And when we calculate that the total worth of this 4 payment, okay, would be at the end of 4-year period. Now let's see, when I am paying the 4th year amount, right? So I am closing this loan. That means I will earn 0% on this amount, because yearly how much is the simple interest? 5%. But at the end of 4 year, I will not get interest benefit because I am closing this. So that means I will get 0 simple interest. Simple as that. That means the total value I will pay will be rupees 100. Now coming to year 3 payment. So now see, if I am paying 100 rupees here, there is one more year to go on, right? So what I will get? I will get a benefit of 5%, right? Because I am paying right front, like to close the entire debt, still I will have 1 year. So 5% benefit, that means that amount will be 105. Now let's say for year 2 payment, because this is paid before, like 2 years before the due date, the earning will be what? 5% plus 5%, right? Because it is paid 2 years before the due date. And hence that amount will become 110. Similarly, tell me here how much? 15%. And that amount will become 115. Now, let's try to sum this up. Okay. So what will be that amount? This is a total amount, right? So how much amount I will pay if I consider the monthly installment as 100? I will end up in paying 430 rupees. But here how much I am paying? It is 6,450 rupees. Now tell me, if 430 is equivalent to 6,450, then 1 rupee is equivalent to what? Because we are calculating it for 100. Right now we are going for 430. So 1 rupees, or simply say 100 rupees, will be equivalent to what? X. Just do the cross multiplication. So x will be equals to 6450 into 100 divided by 430. So if we just calculate now how much amount it will become, so let's try to solve this. So I think how much it will be. So 43 6, so let's try to do this 645 divided by 43 and tell me how much it will come. So I'm doing it on calculator and it is coming around 15, and these two zeros I will add, so it is 1500, right? So now this is what my monthly installment will be, because earlier I considered it as 100, but in actual it is 1500, and hence option number A is correct. Just try to understand the logic. If you haven't understood, you can again visit this problem, okay, and you can just listen once again how we did this problem. We have to do it like 2-3 times, then it is easy to understand. Let's move to the next problem. So here is the problem number 13, which was asked in MPSC combined examination. So here the problem statement is the sum of money amounts to 756 in 2 years, fine, and rupees 873 in 3.5 years. Find the rate. All right, we have to find out the rate of interest. So here what the problem is saying, the sum of money, let's say X, now that is becoming 756 in 2 years, fine, and that is becoming 873 in 3 years, that means 2 plus 1.5 year right here, that is becoming 873, and we have to find out the rate of interest. So here we know how to find out rate of interest. It is simple interest divided by total principal into 100, right? Principal into 100, it is a basic calculation, right? So here what we need to first find out is simple interest. Now how to calculate simple interest? We know simple interest is always calculated based on the principal. Now if you closely observe, the difference between these two is a simple interest for 1.5 year. Do you agree? Perfect. Now tell me, what is the difference between 873 and 756? Okay, so that will be, so 4 and 3 7, 1, and here also 1, so 117. Now this amount is for how many years? I mean, this simple interest is earned for 1.5 year. Then for 1 year, how much is the simple interest? That we have to find out. So just do the cross multiplication here and you will come to know. Okay, then what will be the amount? 117 divided by 1.5. So 1.5, can I write it as by 3 by 2? These two will come in multiplication. So just do the calculation. So 3 3s are 9, 3 9s are 27 into 2. So that will be equals to 78. So 78 is simple interest. And what is the principal amount? That we don't know. Okay, no problem. So simple interest earned is 78. Principal amount we don't know. Now how to calculate principal amount? Here simple interest is 78, which is earned for 2 years. That means 78 plus 78 is earned for 2 years. Now if I do this summation, that will be equals to 156. So 756 minus 156 is equals to 600. So that is what is my principal amount. Correct? Now if I divide, because this is what the simple interest earned, this was my principal amount. If I do it into 100, I will get the rate of interest, right? Just do this calculation. So it will be 6 1s are 6, 6 3s are 18. So my rate of interest will be 13%. Now look for the option. So option number D, and hence option number D is correct. See here also, I mean, this is a logic, huh? This is not something which I have remembered. It is simple. This much of interest earned on this amount, and hence this is rate of interest. Simple as that. Let's move to the next problem. Now, let us look at the problem number 14, which is asked in the banking examination, which is IBPS. So the 1200 rupees amounts to, what I told amounts to, that means this amount is with principal plus simple interest that I have told you in the course of time. Now that becomes in how many years? In 4 years. If the rate of interest is increased by 1%, it amount to how much? So again, we have to find out total amount. Now here the principal amount is how much? 1200. So that is becoming how much in 4 years? 1632. That is becoming in 4 years. So what is the simple interest earned per year? If I calculate, so that will be 1632 minus 1200. So that becomes 432 divided by 4 per year we have to calculate. So that will become 108. So 108 is simple interest earned per year. But now just think of how much is or how much was the interest rate earlier, because again we have to increase it by 1%. So the simple interest is 108. The total amount given was 1200 into 100. Just do this calculation and you will come to know what was the earlier interest rate or rate of interest. So these two zeros got cancelled. So 4 9s are 108. So that becomes 9%. So this is what rate of interest earlier. Now the rate of interest is increased by 1%. That means, okay, it will be 10%, right? What is the amount? 1200. Okay. For how many years? 4 years. What is the rate of interest? It is 10%. For 4 years, it will become 40%. Right. Now tell me what is this simple interest earned with this percentage for 4 years. So this zero get cancelled. This zero got cancelled. So this will become 480 rupees. So this is what simple interest earned with this new rate of interest when I increase it by 1%. Now here what they are asking, it amounts to. What does amounts to mean? Amounts to mean it is total amount. And that total amount is nothing but what? Your principal plus simple interest. What is your principal? It is 1200. What is simple interest earned with the new interest? It is 480. So your answer will become 1680. Look for the option. So option number A is correct. Okay, easy problem. So let's move on to the last problem of this session. So if you read this problem very carefully, you will see that the similar kind of problem we have already solved, and the similar approach we will try to execute if we can find out the answer or not. So here what the problem statement is saying, a person lent 5,000 partly at 4% and 5% of the simple interest. The total interest earned after 2 years is 440. The sum lent at 4% we have to find out. So this is exactly similar to what we have seen it earlier, and this again the question was asked in UPSC CSAT 2024. Now here again we don't know how much that particular person have divided this amount. So what I will do, let's say some amount is given at 4% and some amount is given at 5%. And the total simple interest which is earned after 2 years, it is saying 2 years, that we have to remember. So that is 440. So let's assume if that particular person have given 2500 each at 4% and 5%. Now tell me 4% of 2500 is what? 25 fours are 100. So it is 100 rupees per year. This we are calculating per year. And for the second one, it is how much? 25 5 it is 125. That means the total simple interest earned over 1 year. So that will be equals to 225. Then we have to see, we have to calculate it for 2 years. So just multiply it by 2. So it will become 450. So if that person lends that amount, let's say 2500 by splitting into equal amount, he will earn 450 rupees. But here the simple interest what in actual he got is 440 rupees. What does that indicate? That indicate that the amount lent at 4% is more than 2500, right? That's why he is getting less simple interest compared to if he would have been like split equally. Make sense? Perfect. So that means that amount must be more than 2500. Now see in the option. Okay, now we will strike the option. Option number A says 2000, not possible. Option number B is 3000, which is more than 2500, so maybe possible. Option number C says exactly 2500, but we have already seen, so that is not possible. And option number D 1500, that is also not possible. And hence option number B is correct. See the approach. We haven't used any kind of formula or something, but we will be able to solve such kind of problems. So what you have to do is exactly concentrate on what is given, how we can solve it in simple way and the faster way. So that is it for today, guys. So let's meet in the next session. So till now, bye bye.